Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. So here we are today, Wednesday. First, it's bad joke day, I like that. This is the report from the doctor. Sam Mendelbaum comes home and notices his wife is scantily dressed in her best Victoria's Secret outfit in front of the mirror, preening herself. And immediately he says, "Well, what's this?" He says, "Sam, I had the most wonderful report from the Dr. Goldstein today. He said I have the body of a 35-year-old, the face of a 30-year-old, the hair of a 25-year-old. And he said, "Yeah, well, what did he say about your big fat ass?" He says, "Darling, we didn't talk about you at all." Can I get a rim shot for that? All right. Nonetheless, for my journaling writing people, or for those of you who like elevate the conversation, either within your own mind or with a friend of yours who's interested in talking about these kind of things, what part does magic play? I don't mean magic like Penn and Teller magic, and can you fool them? But what is that power that transforms you, that influences you by a certain quality that isn't just spiritual, supernatural forces or something mysterious? It's something that kind of removes you from the ordinary daily life with something that's wonderful, exciting, like was it this magic moment, so different and so real, like any other, that kind of thing, was it? What was it for you? Seeing the snow-capped mountains, or seeing your baby being born, or unbelievable Italian restaurant in the piazza, whatever? It doesn't matter what it was, but something was magic for you, and everything got illuminated and turned on. Let me know what was happening for you. I'll let you know what was happening for me, or discuss it with other people, or just think about how there's magic in your life. All right, I took a deep chastisement from my teacher one time where he said to me, "I can't add to your practice, I can only correct." I was hoping to get more, but he was absolutely true. I didn't even learn the basics. And there was a part of me that was greedy and ambitious, that I should be laid on the higher teachings when I haven't even mastered the foundation teachings. Or as we might say, if you're a yoga practitioner, would you teach headstand variations before you taught headstand? So that made me realize I have work to do at you could call it the base level, the lower level, if you want to use that word, but don't see lower as pejorative, because you have to master those techniques, or at least put in a better effort than you have up to now, in order to move on. So please remember that. Now, one of the most important words I feel is zeal. In yoga, when you practice your sadhana, you're supposed to be supremely enthusiastic about it. And zeal is the intense experience of the beauty of things. When you have that beauty, you have great energy and enthusiasm in the pursuit of what your objective is, because you see beauty everywhere. And God is the one that sees beauty in every living thing. So we have to widen our very narrow definition of what we think is beautiful. And for those of you who don't think you're beautiful, you are already beautiful, no matter how different you are, or how awkward some parts of you may feel. You're still beautiful. So be spiritual in everything you do, and then you'll see the material proceeds from the spiritual. Like Jesus said, "Seek ye first the kingdom, and all these things will be added unto you." And the simplest way, I never deny that I'm still a hippie in a certain way. Other hippies may have sold out, but not me. And the biggest thing you learn, just like in yoga, you learn about ahimsa and nonviolence. The first thing you learn in hippie philosophy is put aside petty hassle. Yeah, there's going to be hassling in life, no doubt. The path is fraught with difficulties, no doubt. But petty hassle, you give it up, because you don't want anyone to bring your high down. So you have to work together and be competent enough to take care of yourself and take care of other people. And then, of course, hippies understood to honor the enshrinement of all the religious traditions as having been a heavy thing that happened to that generation. Well, you know what? Something just as heavy happened to that generation that I went through. The zeitgeist of our time had a vision that I don't think any other generations post-World War II has had yet. It was the first global vision, and everything that we're fighting for today began then. Now, I believe that we have to change the narrative in our heads, how we describe what's going on within ourselves, within the world, within life. And so myth is a public dream, whereas a dream is a private myth. And the dream is kind of an objective statement that your psyche makes to you, but it's cryptic because it's not an information service, it's an imagination service. And it basically gets you to go on a pilgrimage to find the path to the center. Because if you're not centered, you wobble in everything you do. And that begins with imagination. You have to see it in your mind that there's a place to get to. That's the center of yourself. And I've already said the path is fraught with difficulties. It's not going to be easy to take this journey, this quest. But take advantage whenever you find that luck is on your side. Do as much as you can to help it as it's doing as much as it can to help you. And remember always, beginner's luck is what they call the principle of favorability. There's more likelihood that something good will happen if you set out and make an attempt. If you just sit on your duff, as Michael Jordan would say, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Or if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So, what do we have to do? Face fear. This is what my Native American teachers have always reminded me. Face the fear. Slice through its illusions, which you've too long believed in. Become a master of spiritual Aikido that learns how to deflect every worry, every trouble, all the negative imprints, the old memories, and know that you can smoothly face every challenge, especially the unknown challenges. Shore that up even before you face it. Know that you got it within you to make it. And then I hope that we all can learn new ways to console our own fears, how we can soothe our own uneasiness with the wisdom of what we already know is true, and let that be the value that guides us. So, my friends, the Affirmation Masters, every day I try to say something to remind us, reach for thoughts that feel better. And then anything you decide to do, if you're aligned with spirit, you'll see how easily you can do it. And maintain that connection with your inner child and your inner teen, because too many pull up the tush adults are caught up in matters of consequence, what they think is really important. And then they don't like you living a life of leisure. Don't loaf. You should be working. The Protestant ethic comes into slam dunk you. And if you start talking about this stuff, they put it down by calling it woo-woo or balderdash, just senseless stuff. And of course, it's the very essence of your life. So it's all around you once you take time to notice it. So bring wholehearted presence to whatever it is you're doing right now, and you'll find that your life becomes much more fulfilling. Have a great day.